live.
We give
Let's
people a
see.
moment to filter
Aw. We'll wait for a little bit. Hope we didn't lose some of our friends. But we had some technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Gonna wait for a moment.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so what do you think about that weather, baby?
Gloomy.
How about that sports
Gray.
team?
I wonder if we should probably share the link. I'm gonna have to update the link on. I don't think you can.
On the old Instagram.
Hello. Yeah, we've got our
Alright.
friend back.
Back. So it's weird when we started doing that. Like when I spoke, it started coming back out of the phone,
Yeah.
and it was one of those like, you know, they do those little techno things where the guy does like a little beatbox thing, and then he hits record really quick, and 4 minutes later, like that just track repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats. Then
And he heard it too.
oh, weird.
crazy.
Yeah, I have no idea what that was.
Fomat, happy to see you here. And there is a green, your name comes in with the green symbol. I am not familiar with that. It's probably membership. I'm not sure, but I will have to check after this live. So,
Oh, wow.
but thank you for the recommendations. Thanks for the recommendations the other day on the email about storage, camera, and such. It's a little bit windy. Actually, it's a lot windy today.
Yeah, it's weird. Some days it's wide open, and other days I think we're by like, is it haboob season?
Probably.
These things in
May.
Arizona called haboobs, and effectively they're like really big sandstorms, and they'll just come up real quick, blow a lot of dirt around everywhere. And when you're here in the city, sometimes it's not the worst still because you get a lot of like breaks because of buildings, wind breaks and building breaks. But when you're out like on the highway, cars will have to pull over and stop. Haboob.
Oh, thank you so much. Fomat says, I'm a supporter of your channel now. It's green because I paid.
Well,
That's wonderful.
reach out to us and tell us how we're doing with that stuff too, because
Oh my goodness.
we're in our youth in providing extra content. So
Yeah.
whatever you want to say, man, hit us up.
Thank you. We very much appreciate it. I think you are our very first member on YouTube. This is amazing.
Oh boy, now we got to be held accountable for all that extra content too. We got to put our content where our mouth is. Oh boy.
We will try to not disappoint you.
One of the biggest problems we have with editing is that we have so much content.
Yes.
And we always have to trim down like an hour video to like 5 minutes. And you're just like, what do I do with the other 55 minutes?
I know.
Extra content.
But Fomat, you are the first. This is going to be epic. We just actually, because we only got monetized on YouTube in February, and you can only start the membership program when you are monetized. So we just started it literally the end of February. So you are the first person. This is amazing.
Oh, rock on, man. Discover together. What was I saying though?
Yeah, we were talking about, so today, Thursday, we're literally about to go to the gym.
I'm like trying to like play the beat in my head that the music was playing. So we're outside of our community area.
Yeah.
We're gonna go work out in the gym, and we've started doing the inclined treadmills, which gotta be honest, not bad. And I don't feel like I'm running either, so
No.
it tricks my brain. I'm not as depressed while I'm doing it.
Yeah, so 2 days ago, it was actually good. I don't know, I think we mentioned that many times, but if some of you are new here in this live, we have 2 people joining and watching us. We're preparing for climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. If you're not familiar with Mount Kilimanjaro, it's the highest peak in Africa. So that's something that we have to prepare and work very hard for. So one of the ways that we're training right now is just the gym, go on an incline, because it's pretty hot right now. We went on a hike the other day in one of the regional parks here, but it was, oh my God, it was exhausting.
Forgive me,
So
I'm
hot.
sharing the link, by the way, for the new one.
Okay.
I usually do pretty good in the heat, to be honest with you. My body doesn't struggle the same way, but it was hot that day. But really for us, it was just all about water. But I know we talked about that in the other
Yeah.
one already. So.
We didn't share the whole truth, but no, you can say it.
Habiba had a rough time at the end. There's a moment where we're coming over a hill. We chose not to go up the summit because we were already 8 miles in and low on water, and that was a very good choice.
Yeah.
But we come up a hill, and I'm like calling a lift, and
'Cause we
Habiba's
didn't
like,
have
"Oh,
car-
you're calling it already?" Like, but I want to go live really quick in the parking lot when we get there, and Habiba's dead, like delirious at that point with the heat, and it's just like she wanted to do the Instagram or the YouTube.
The YouTube live.
And
No, but
we get over
before-
the hill. Oh,
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
We get over the hill while I'm trying to tell her like, oh, I'm calling a ride, and she's like, no, 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 don't do it. I guess she thought like we were right at the parking lot. She comes
Yeah.
over the hill and sees nothing, and just immediately like a wave of depression hits her. She has about 2 seconds of breakdown, and then all of the emotional energy that she had was just spent, and then it was just back to like. It all happened so quick.
So sudden. I had a meltdown. Like, where the heck is it? Because I'm so exhausted. Like, literally, he's exhaustion and not enough water and so very hot. And I just thought that we were done. And then I look and it's just a big field of cacti, never ending. It was so depressing. But anyway, so we just decided you'll have to put the link just the link in the bio. Right here.
Okay, I have a copy. Do you want to do it, and I'll start
Yeah.
winding this in. So today, what I was going to talk about is passport health. So we've got a trip coming up, and
Yeah.
we've been pumped up about that. And I know we've talked about the trip to Kilimanjaro, but we had to get some vaccines, and we're getting ready to travel again while we're coming out of COVID and such. And passport health has been helpful for us in preparing us for whatever recommended or required vaccines or shots or medical awareness things we need for going into another country. Some of the ones were pretty expensive. They had these rabies pills. Apparently, if you get bit, somebody has rabies, or a dog has rabies, or it bites you, you have like 24 hours, I think 48 hours, they said
48.
tops,
Yeah.
to get medical attention. Otherwise, they can't really reverse it. But if you take these pills, and they're like $1,200 a person, you get 5 days instead of 2. And I was like, I'll just stay away from the
expensive.
dogs as best I can.
Yeah.
I'm not dropping $2,500 so the two of us can.
Yeah, but basically this company, Passport Health, what they do, they just help you with all the necessary vaccines, documentations, recommendations on things to do for a specific destination. So we booked an appointment with them. And then we had a one-on-one with a nurse practitioner, I think that's what she was. And then she had a bunch of documentation customized to our trip to Tanzania. And so part of that documentation covers information about what visa requirements, the embassy website or program that you should register with, the vaccines that are required, and then the vaccines that are optional. And then they also have vaccines on site, so that they basically just walk you through all the pricing. They break it down and tell you this is what you absolutely need, this is what you don't need, and then you decide right there where if you want it or not. I think especially for us, because we haven't done a lot of international travel, it was definitely helpful. So do you remember how much we paid for that appointment with Passport Health?
So the way the passport health registration worked, for me it was $80, and since I was bringing a friend, my friend could come for $65. And the trick was, if you filled out the medical history information online, that they give you a $10 discount. At least that's how it was at our place. Now the trick is they're not done through your regular healthcare provider. So as a result of this, anything you spend there, any money you spend, would need to be, you need to pay all of it on your own, and then you would need to give that documentation back to your insurance company to submit a claim, and then your insurance company
Yeah.
would reimburse you at the end. And it's worth saying that there are some vaccines and other stuff that you're not going to find at your regular general healthcare physician.
Yeah.
So we really wanted to go there for these things, but also just to get everything recommended properly from the the CDC?
Yeah, CDC.
Rather than some of the perhaps preferred, more, I don't want to call it colloquial, but the more common, perhaps over-the-counter, or maybe doctors have preferences that might not be the best. For example, the malaria pills that my doctor had recommended that I was going to take were the weekly pills, once a week. And not that that's bad, I got no beef with my doctor, that's fine, but the people at Passport Health said, we recommend the daily ones. They're obviously a little bit more, you're taking more of them, they cost some money.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, to hear them say that, I just kind of made them the authority, especially since my physician referred me to them.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to do the daily pills for like 35 days or something. Like, that's going to be a lot of pills, but...
But anyway, so if you're traveling to a destination that you're not comfortable with, or you just need to consult with someone, definitely worth it. I think $80 per person, I think it's worth it. They sit with you, they give you 1 hour of time, they walk you through a lot of things. So the only vaccine that we got there was the typhoid vaccine.
Typhoid, yeah.
And then they don't have a COVID vaccine on site, not yet.
I just got an email today. Actually, they do
They
now.
do now? They
Or
do now?
at least our site did. I'm sure that's on a
Nice.
site-by-site basis, but they sent me an
Nice.
email saying they did today.
Yeah, so maybe if there is enough vaccine in the state that you need it in, they probably have it. But at least when we were there, they didn't. But anyway, Passport Health, highly recommend it. Let's
So
see, there's
the most odd one that I saw them give us, we had the opportunity to get yellow fever. That was probably the craziest one on the list, and you only have to get yellow fever if you go to countries where yellow fever is endemic. And if it's endemic in those countries and you go there, then you must have yellow fever shots in order to enter Tanzania.
yeah.
Other than that, though, I think every single thing we came across was recommended.
Yeah, so
Right.
nothing. So if you are traveling from the United States to Tanzania, no vaccine is actually required. It's not required.
Right.
But it's probably a good idea to have some pills like malaria pills. And then if you're entering Tanzania from Kenya, for example, you would need yellow fever and so on. But anyway, so we will talk about all of these things in details. We don't want to make this, all about vaccines and such. There's a question from our friend Fomat. Were there any vaccines that struck you as being really odd?
That's the one.
That's the one you were talking about.
And for what it's worth, do you mind if I just rattle off the ones I
sure.
knew about? The vaccines that I can think of that were presented to me by my healthcare physician, which they may have left some out because they have my chart of things I might have already had. Hep A, Hep B were on the list. Hep A was recommended. Hep B was also recommended, but I guess less recommended.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because they just give you all of them and then they give you a reason why it will be helpful. Like when they presented the typhoid first, like, well, it happens because of contaminated food or water. It's like, well, I have high chances of consuming either or. So
Right.
maybe it makes sense to have it.
Because we're going to be there for a pretty lengthy time, too. But there was Hep A, Hep B, there's tetanus, which I had a booster a while ago, so I think I was okay with. Measles, mumps, rubella, a lot of these things you might have
So
gotten when you were younger, as well as shingles or chicken pox, and things to the effect of
Yeah.
that you might get. And then there was the malaria. We're going to take Dimox in order to get up onto the mountain. And we're told that Dimox makes you a little queasy. Malaria pills make you a little queasy. We're guessing together they may be a little bit much. Other than that, though, I was just going to say, on the mountain, we're told that there are not a lot of mosquitoes, just because of the elevation and such. But if you're down in the actual towns and cities and such, that's where you're going to run into them. But you have to kind of like keep a continuous dosage of the malaria pills in your system once you start taking them. So if we land a little bit early, which we might do to spend some time with some of our other hike mates, since they might leave after the hike, but we're going to stay longer. We're probably going to end up taking the pills the whole time on the mountain. So we want to make sure we don't get nauseous while we're climbing and such too. But stuff I never knew, right?
Yeah. All of these things are new to us. No, it's definitely, if someone is thinking about traveling to that area of the world or climbing the mountains, it will be useful information. So I will make sure that I get all of this information once we get there or after we come back or something. But anyway, so what else? What's new? What do you guys want us to talk about? Questions? What else?
I'll say a lot of the stuff that we had for Passport Health, and I'm probably just going to make that my focus for filling in the blanks. They do have a website, and a lot of the stuff we were reading or that they covered with us, a lot of the information was available on the website to read on your own. But it was very reassuring to have somebody that is like up to date and knows what they're talking about, kind of filling in the blanks for you, telling you how much stuff cost. I love our Alaska videos. Me and my girlfriend are going there next month and are super excited for it. We both are vaccinated, and Alaska removed tests for vaccinated people.
Yay.
Dude, when we went to Alaska, they lost our test here in Arizona.
Yeah.
And we had to go take 2 more tests in Alaska. But man, Alaska
This is
great.
awesome. Every time someone says that they're going to Alaska, my heart is just filled with joy because, I know it's not possible, but I feel like every person should experience Alaska once. It's not possible, but you're gonna be so happy in Alaska. I love it.
Tell us where you're going if you want, and maybe one experience or two that you're really excited to undertake. Because we only went to the Anchorage area, and then we pretty much moved south from there. And we got to see Kenai, we got to see Seward, which you loved, Whittier, and we went up to Talkeetna, but we did not get up to Denali. It was pretty...
Yeah. I think, so Devansh, if you want to share with us, if you're still here and you'd like to share with us, what are top 2 things that you'd like to experience in Alaska? We'll be happy to hear that.
Any special gear we're upgrading to? Good, very, very possibly long answer for us.
Long.
Good question. So step 1 for me is
Hiking
Shoes. Obviously, I want to get new shoes to do the hike because I don't like using ankle support shoes while I'm hiking around here. They're just not my preference. And I'm not so worried about going up the mountain, but coming down, I'm sure knees and ankles could still be something that you could suffer with on your way down. So I would like to get shoes like that to practice our hikes in here in the gym and real hikes out in the wild,
Yeah.
Colorado.
Yeah.
So shoes are a big deal.
Hiking shoes, definitely. I have, for me personally, I have hiking boots, Morels, that I've been using for 4 years, 5 years now. They're good, but I'm not gonna take them up the mountain because they're not the most comfortable. They were half size larger than my normal size, and so it's just not the most comfortable. So hiking shoes for sure. Then the other thing that we just bought a new duffel bag, a big North Face duffel bag just for our travels.
It was like an extra large 160 liter,
Yeah,
like
but
this thing.
and now I'm just looking at it. I'm like, well, it's gonna be good to fit all of our travel gear in to fly there, but they usually ask you to give a duffel bag to the porters. So he would need his own duffel bag, and I need my own duffel bag, and so we will have to buy new duffel bags too, and they have to be waterproof because with the porters, and it's pretty much the same because when we hiked the Inca Trail in Peru, I feel like we got a lot of experience from that. So with the with the porters, they just have this big duffel bag that they are carrying, and then they just fit everything in. And if it rains, you want to make sure that your gear is protected. And then other than that, our bags should be good. I think I'm gonna end up getting another bag because we have 20 liters Ospreys. We have Alex has 30 liters, which is perfect for that type of hiking. I don't have 30 liters. I might end up getting 30 liters, but our clothes should be good. Jackets, everything should be fine. Sleeping bags, they usually the company that you climb with, they provide you with all the sleeping bags and such.
You have to rent them, but
Yeah.
they're available for rent.
So I don't think we're gonna be buying any sleeping bags. We have all of that stuff, and
they're bulky too.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to be carrying the 30-liter bag up, which the nice thing about the 30-liter bags, at least so far as I remember with mine, is it still has the soft shell frame.
yeah,
And it feels like you're crossing a line with hiking bags when you have to move to a hard shell for the back. And sometimes if the water bladder holder area is inside of the bag versus outside of the bag, if you have it inside the bag, a 30-liter bag can turn into a 26-liter bag real quick because that bladder just takes up a lot of space and makes things fit weird.
I
But,
think that's that. What else? Can you think of anything else?
Well, I will say too, with the porters, usually not only is there a limit to the amount of weight that you can carry per person too. So if we give them a 160-liter bag with a couch in it, they're like, all right, get this bad boy to the top, right? They'll probably say no. I think it's usually like for Machu Picchu, I think it was like 7.5 or 10 kilograms per person, and then like $50 for another 5 kilograms. Or it's probably a similar relationship there. So hiking shoes. I want to get some mountaineering glasses.
Oh yeah.
But I'm a little curious as to if that'll be the only place I use them. But they'll have like the little shields on the side and a little thing in the front.
Oh, you can show on your phone.
Yeah, maybe I'll pull them up maybe next time.
Yeah.
But beyond that, then gear like that, I have a nice hat that I'm probably going to wear, but it might get a little colder up top. We're going to get approach shoes, I think is what they're called too.
Yeah.
So not only these boots for hiking, but we're going to have some lighter, like, bend upable, like shoes that are still durable, but that we can probably wear around the camp when we're beat up at the end of the day. And maybe you want to take off your big shoes if you want to go screw around. But or maybe there'll be a light day where we just want to change out shoes if they get wet or something, let the other ones dry.
Yeah, we learned about approach shoes when we took the rock climbing classes. So climbers would usually, to get to the site where they will start rock climbing, they would wear approach shoes. They are just like lighter hiking shoes, and they're really nice. So maybe we will get that, but we don't have, I think major purchases are going to be the duffel bags and the hiking shoes. That's pretty much it. Our friend Fomat is asking, what about your purification while there for water? What about water purification? Yeah, these are the
There
glasses.
you go. Boom shaka.
Aviator.
Little bendy earpieces and such, and you can take off the nose piece. But these lenses are called like Spectrum 3, Spectrum 4, etc. And the Spectrum 4 ones apparently have like 5% light transmission. So I don't know if I'd be like comfortable driving them around or driving with them here on the ground. But the Spectrum 3s I think let 20% light through, and I could see that being okay here in Arizona.
So water purification.
The world. Yay!
Hey, our friends from last time. I'm so happy. So water purification on the Inca Trail, I think they were boiling water the whole time.
Right.
And then when you start your day early in the morning, they just give you probably 4 liters of water per person, depending on how much water you need. And then throughout the day. So we really don't, but when we did the Inca Trail, I still took my own purification tablets just in case, or I don't know, if something goes wrong, I still wanna be able to purify water. But yeah, I think same is going to be on Kilimanjaro. They're going to probably boil water, and then every morning we would have to fill our hydration bladder, Nalgene bottles, and so on.
And I think really the tablets were like this big in a little container, so they were hardly like worth arguing over in your mind. I think one of the biggest thing that builds up on us when we go on one of these trips is how many knick-knack backup things we need to have, and to try to not be blind to the fact that they eventually accumulate. Some of them, like we agree, are reasonable things to bring, like another pair of shoelaces.
Yeah.
Right, and then other times, sometimes you have your own personal stuff, but a lot of those little trinkets can start to add up, and we always find ourselves almost micromanaging to ourselves, like, do I really need this? And it's hard to be like reasonably critical to yourself. So really, at the end of the day, I think having these smaller bags to hike with will help, because we can practice fill them. And we're going to go do a practice hike about a month or so before we leave. And that'll be like, we'll pack our bags the same way and wear the same clothing and outfit and such like that, just to make sure we feel okay. But anyway.
Yeah, even right now when we go to the gym, we try to dress, or to at least wear our hiking clothes. I'm not wearing, like, I'm wearing my shirt. This is what I hike in, but last time I was wearing hiking pants and hiking shoes, but not today. I don't feel like it, but anyway. What's this question? Need to add gears to the sides and make it steampunk.
Talking about the glasses. If you go on Amazon and you look them up, a lot of the ones do look very steampunk. Those are the cleanest looking ones I saw, though. Some people say you can take off those side leather pieces. Other people say you can't. But either way, I think they look pretty cool.
They do.
And for $150,
maybe.
I prefer my $40 biking glasses that can get run over by a car and work still, but still.
It's funny because with sunglasses, even for me, when I buy cheap sunglasses, they last forever. Expensive sunglasses, I either break them or lose them.
And if you get them, we should put like affiliate links out all the time. We're learning like affiliate links are great for us on Amazon, so we'll have to put all these things out there. But
Yeah.
buy them all.
What's your name? My name is Habiba.
I'm Alex.
Alex.
Trekking
We are
Bells.
Trekking Bells.
Other stuff that we're taking, we're rattling them off while we still have a loadout list. The trekking poles. And we're excited because that big bag that we were talking about, Fomat, and we chuckled too. My dad had said actually it was large enough that we might be able to save money by shipping Habiba to Kilimanjaro rather than buying her a seat. That's what she had to
We
say about
ship
it.
you.
But we're happy because traveling with trekking poles can be a bit of a nuisance. You're not really allowed to put them in overhead carriers. So even when we're doing domestic trips to like Glacier National Park or something like that, you always have to check them, which is a bit of a nuisance. But if our bag's not big enough, they end up like poking a hole through them, and they're really a nuisance to carry with us. So I think with these bigger bags, we'll be excited to take them in. But
Yeah, even in local travel here, domestic travel in the U.S., they're not allowed in your carry-on bag because they are potentially weapons. They can be used as weapons, so they're not allowed. You have to either. No, I don't think so. No, they're not allowed at all.
nope.
And Matt, hi from Pennsylvania.
Howdy, howdy.
He's from your hometown, your state. Alex is Pennsylvanian.
What was I going to say? Other stuff that we have. So we bought some interesting medication that the people at Passport Health recommended. It's an anti-diuretic.
Doot doot.
So if anything bad starts to happen while you're up there, and having, issues with your downstairs obviously is a bit of a problem while you're hiking for multiple reasons. If you have diarrhea, you're losing a lot of water. So all of this stuff is going to be great. She's complimenting your hairstyle. I'm talking about bowel
Thank
movements.
you.
It's all good.
My wife always kept my old trekking poles by her side on the bed. That's pretty funny.
Every time I look at the end of a hiking pole, I think about the movie A Knight's Tale, where they like crush Adamar's like tip to his thing, and you see that he's got like the tipped Lance, and I'm always like,
I think. No, but trekking poles are amazing. I feel like the degree of confidence.
Got me. That's the
See,
one.
sometimes I told Alex there is so much that he says or references, pop culture references that I don't get. So a lot of things get lost in translation in our relationship.
But I know when we went to the Inca Trail or some other national monuments, something like that, they have little rubber tips for your hiking pole that they'll usually require you to have on some national landmarks because they don't want your poles to scratch up everything. I don't think Kilimanjaro is going to be one of those places. So.
No, but what was I saying? I was saying that trekking poles are good.
Yeah.
Really nice. I feel like I become more confident when I'm hiking out there if I have trekking poles, because if there are, you know, you make enough noise for snakes, you make enough noise in bear country, they're really helpful. I like having trekking poles with me.
I'm 50-50 with them. The Osprey bags that we have are great in the sense that they usually have like an ice axe spot or something on the back where you can just lash them to the back of your bag. But some of the newer ones that I've been getting, or bigger ones, have like a little strap clip on your hip and a little rubber thing on your front where you can kind of like put them underneath your arm in hiking, so you can just kind of undo it and have them at your disposal right away. But when there's a lot of brush on the side of the trail, I find I get my poles stuck on the ground and I just choose not to even fight with them. So
Fomat said, same with me and my wife. She's from England and doesn't get a lot of my pop culture references, even the British ones. Yeah. I feel like Alex had me watch all Star Wars. I watched every single one of them.
she watched most of them.
I watched everyone.
We got to episode 7 and there was like the movie theater with those like reclining chairs, right? I don't even think she made it past the opening sequence. She was just out. But she made it through 1 through 6. I'll give you that. And we watched them in the correct order: 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Get out of here.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
I didn't get her to watch. What's the one? What's 3.5? Rogue. I didn't get her to watch Rogue. What is it? It's not Rogue One. That's the first one.
I don't know. Don't quiz me in Star Wars. Okay, and Matt, I live near Hershey. Hershey is where...
Hershey, Pennsylvania is where the chocolate place
Hershey is the girl that we're watching from the TV show. Sean's
Oh,
wife.
oh yeah, we're watching the movie, the TV show, The Good Doctor.
What's his wife's name?
His wife's name is Leah in the TV show.
Leah is from Hershey.
But anyway, what's our craziest experience hiking? Well, we're not going to tell you the craziest stories. Those are ones I guess we'd have to script out if we're
What's
gonna...
the craziest experience?
So, man.
Craziest in terms of...
So, Humphreys, when we did Humphreys Peak the first time here in Arizona for me, Humphreys Peak is the highest peak in Arizona, and it's 12,223 feet. There's some repeated numbers. Three is one of them.
000.
But the first time we did it, we were a little nervous about trying to go up there, and it was like the end of the winter season.
A lot of snow.
And there was a lot of snow up there too, and we bought like micro spikes. Not crampons, micro spikes.
Yeah.
We put them on our little like regular hiking shoes. We hit the trail for 3,400 feet of elevation gain over the course of, I don't know, it was 12 miles roundabout. So I think it was like 6 miles up, 6 miles down. It's cold. And we actually got there the first day and we saw people coming down and we looked at it and they were like, watch out for cornices and avalanches. We ended up just going skiing. We're like, you know what, it's not for us, not comfortable, let's stay back. We saw people coming down the trail, so we said, you know what, let's go up tomorrow. The first 10 steps of the trail and we're already knee deep in snow, post-hauling the whole way down, like up to the middle of our calves sometimes, cautiously trekking on top. And we zigzag up the first area, switchbacks, make the turn, the other area, switchbacks. And it is hard work already in the snow.
A lot of hard work.
Needless to say, we then get to the saddle, which is probably at about 11,000 something feet. We are feeling the elevation. We started in Phoenix at about 1,600 feet, and we are both beat up.
Tired.
The wind is blowing so much. I forgot my gloves, so I bought these pink lobster gloves, like in the stinking gift shop, and they're not the best gloves in the world.
Oh my God! I want to see. I really want to share with you guys this picture
Pull it
of
up.
Alex.
You're
I
welcome
don't
to
know.
do so.
I don't know where it is right now, but we are at the top of the mountain, and we're taking picture. We look so weird and funny, and he's got like.
I look like
pink-
Zoidberg from Futurama. I'm just like.
Oh
But
God.
so with this though, we're getting our way up, and not only before we get to the saddle, we're beat as heck anyway, but the snowdrift is so deep that we don't even know where the trail is. We've never been there before, so we're a little concerned and nervous.
Yeah.
But every time we start to slip and slide, we're like practicing like self-arrests
Yeah, with
our
the
hiking
trekking
poles.
pole.
And all we know is they're gonna break when we go down. We have no clue where we are. Every step is just like maximum effort. It's like that eco challenge.
Very difficult. And we can't see the trail. The trail is buried in snow. We're just making our way up with.
So we get to the summit, or not to the summit, we get to the saddle. And we're like, yeah, like there's the peak. That's not the peak. It's like there's two peaks behind it. That's the peak. And it's still like another hour and something away, and you're just walking the ridgeline anyway. But we can't find the trail once we're on the saddle. And to be honest, we've done the trail again in the summer,
Yeah.
and it's actually a little bit of like stepping over rocks, and like it's not obvious. It's not like a tramped path the whole way there. So we just start taking up. And Lord knows, now that we've done it again, that we just pretty much walked up like the dumbest area to the top of nowhere.
Trail. Yeah.
And we're like, again, like shoulder deep, like in snow, like, can you see anything?
Yeah.
Oh
And
my
then
gosh.
the last push, Alex is like he's trying to figure out where the way to get to the summit. And we realized that it was off trail all the way. And there's a lot of scree. It's not really like and I feel like everything is sliding. And I'm like, this does not sound right. I am not a goat. But, and I'm like, I'm going up and then everything is sliding. I was like, I'm gonna die in here. But we made it all the way up there and it was so windy, so cold, but it was amazing. I mean, on a clear day, you can pretty much see the Grand Canyon from
Yep.
the top of Humphrey's Peak. It was such a beautiful hike. And we did it the second time we got there. We started hiking around 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m. second time probably.
Trying to catch the sunrise.
And we were up there by the sunrise.
So you're saying, how long are we usually out? I think it depends. So obviously we're filming a lot of content, right?
Yeah.
So there took a lot of discipline, and this is stuff that we could probably talk about for Kilimanjaro
Yeah.
too, is, filming and photographing tools and stuff so that we take. We both have our own camera. Habiba uses the GoPro. We had like a tripod, but like some of the interchange clips that we have for our peak design shoulder things are different than how they connect to the tripod. We're getting better there.
Yeah.
But if we're not taking pictures, we usually do about 23 miles or 23 minutes a mile. On a little bit uphill.
Yeah.
But if we're taking pictures and such and filming stuff and running back and
You
forth
go
to grab
back
the camera,
and forth,
it could easily
stop.
become 35 minutes a mile. So it really depends on what our agenda is for the day. If we're just hiking, like I said, about 23 minutes a mile, I think is our pace, and then just
Yeah.
extrapolate that across your distance. But when we're filming, obviously, it could take a lot longer.
And
So.
I don't think I'm the fastest hiker out there, and the point is not to run up the mountain unless we are training and we have a goal that we want to aim for. But average hiking, nothing extraordinary.
We'll get to the top of Humphreys though, and there'll be people up there with like the little water packs, looking like
Oh,
they just
yeah.
got off
Oh
a
my
jet
God,
ski in their
yeah.
short shorts with their
Trail runners.
they're trail runners and all sorts of stuff. And they're like, "Excuse me, can I get past really quick?" And they're like, "Yeah, I go up and down in 2 hours." I'm like, "I am not up and down in 2 hours. That's like a 5-hour hike at best
Yeah.
for me if I'm hustling."
But it's a
So.
beautiful hike. It's really nice. We are there for 12 days, hoping to hike around Anchorage, Denali, and Seward. I'm excited for Hardin Icefield. Yay!
Oh yeah, so you're gonna do Harding Icefield Trail. That was my favorite. Obviously, Crow Pass was really our favorite. But I thought Harding Icefield Trail was the best. It had
Amazing.
so much to offer. I called it like the King's Garden up there at some point, where there's all these switchbacks after you get up and you can finally see over the glacier. And then you get to the top, where the glacier's been receding over the years, and there's not a lot of
Really
vegetation yet.
nice.
It's so cool.
So,
go ahead. Yeah.
No, I'm just trying. So I don't want to make this about us. I want to see where Divansh is going. Seward, Denali. Little confused if I should do Matanuska or Lake Reed's Lake. Boy, there are two different experiences. The hike on Reed's Lake, obviously, if you have the time, do both. But Matanuska Glacier is amazing. I don't know what you plan on doing. Do you plan on ice climbing? So there's so many things you can do in Matanuska. At least 3. You can take a guided tour to go hike on the glacier, or you can take an ice climbing tour. But obviously, if you're taking the ice climbing tour, you are going to pretty much hike on the glacier to get to the ice climbing wall, or you can take a helicopter tour, and they take you around the Sheep Mountain area, and you see the glacier from up top. I think you should see Matanuska Glacier. Reed's Lake is one of my favorite hikes of all times because it was very diverse and beautiful. But if I were to choose between both, Matanuska for sure. What do you think?
Oh, I'm the opposite.
You're the
I like.
opposite.
I always like the hike and getting to the top, and I thought that the lake was great. The only thing I regret is we should have jumped in. But
Yeah, in the lake.
and Reed's
yeah.
Lake had a lot of character. At the bottom, you're kind of
Very
walking across
nice.
the grassy fields. You go up over the side of the area, and then all of a sudden you're boulder hopping on what seems to be a very loosely defined trail for a good while. But I would say take this into account when you're in Alaska because this definitely got us. Places are far apart.
Far, very
Far
far.
apart, right? And Denali might not even be visible depending on the weather that you have there. And you may
Yeah.
come to a moment where it'd be nice to have an A and a B game plan just so that you kind of know what it's like to address that choice beforehand. If you're going down to Seward, which is like a good 4 hours, I think, from Anchorage, especially because Highway 1 goes around and then you got to
Yeah,
cut
4
across. And then if you want to go over to Kenai, you got to go that way, which is you got to come back out of Seward and head over again, all the way down to Homer maybe, which is the totally opposite direction of Reed's Lake and Matanuska. Reed's Lake and Matanuska are up north and they're available for you from Anchorage. They're up north.
Yeah.
And then I would say that Seward and such and Harding Icefield Trail, Kenai Ford, or what is it, Kenai National Forest?
Kenai Fjords National Park.
National Park as well,
Yeah.
are down there to the south end. So I would definitely compartmentalize your trips in those ways. And
Yeah.
because of their distance, you're going to want to put aside space and time and budget for staying down there in Seward for a day. If you really want to take a day or two to hit those, Harding Icefield Trail is by all means
Amazing.
a full day commitment. Just depending on how you feel afterwards, you could conceivably go do something else, but you'll want to stop and see wildlife
Yeah.
and all sorts of stuff too. So,
But Matanuska is so unique, and they told us that when we went ice climbing, if you can do ice climbing, I think the prices were very reasonable with the company that we took, that we went with. And oh my God, ice climbing was one of the best experiences. I was just up there on the wall and screaming, "America, America!" I was like,
she was. It was pretty fun.
I was never that happy because it was just very raw and unique experience.
But I will say for Matanuska too, though, I like the helicopter ride. I didn't want to discredit you there because the glacier, when you look at it from the front, it's like a tidal wave. You see the front, you don't see the ocean behind it.
Yeah.
When you get up above those glaciers on that helicopter tour, which is like $130 per person, I think, and we were like, "That's
not bad.
That's good so far as I was concerned." It was really cool to see like how far back it goes, and then to be able to see the landscape of like where it's receded in some cases too, because they've shrunk a lot, and you really get a better perspective on that from above. So.
Yeah, and then they take you to these areas where the glacier is old because they say when there is so much blue, when the lakes are so blue and the walls of the glacier are blue, that means that the ice is old. So you get to see some very nice blue lakes, especially if you are taking the helicopter, right? I want to get to the questions about wildlife.
Sorry,
yeah. Okay, how do you prepare to deal, same question, how do you prepare to deal with wild animals on the trail? Same question, what about bears in Alaska? And let's see, okay, yeah, so bears in Alaska, it's prime bear country. You absolutely want to make sure that you have bear spray with you. Not only that, but you need to know how to use your bear spray. So bear spray, if you are flying to Alaska, you can't fly with bear spray because it's flammable. So once you get to Alaska, first thing that you want to do before even going to parks around Anchorage, make sure that you still have your bear spray with you. You get the canister from one of the stores. I think we got ours from Walmart or somewhere, just like any store that has the fire, like the guns and hunting gear and such.
So many places in those areas, because they are outdoorsy,
Yeah.
will offer you that because they know they can sell it. And I think, yes, compressed stuff and because it's flammable that you can't have them on the
So get the bear spray, and then also get a bear spray holder. There's like a little tube that you can tie to your belt, and that's where the canister goes. And also ask when you get the bear spray if it works on both bear and moose. Because the thing with Alaska, before I went to Alaska, you would think that bears are more dangerous than moose. Moose are usually shy, and probably bears are more dangerous, but most of the attacks, the animal attacks in Alaska, are from moose, not from bear. Because if you are in front of a moose, they get so intimidated and scared that they can charge you immediately. Unlike a bear, you just don't want to startle them and you want to keep your distance. But moose attack a lot of people in Alaska. So ask the question if the bear spray would work on both in case you have to use it. So when we got our bear spray, the person told us that it's effective on both moose and bear. And then when we were hiking the Hardin Icefield Trail, we will literally there was a bear in the bushes eating berries, and it was how far was it
It was
from
like
us?
5 feet away.
Five
Not even.
feet away, like literally hiking, and the bear was just there. It was a bit of a scary moment for me, but you just wanna talk to the rangers if
Yes,
there are
yes.
rangers, and then check the signs, because usually on the Hardin Icefield Trail they had the sign that said there was bear activity, there was an active mom with her bears, with her cubs, be careful, be aware. And by that they mean just make enough noise, have your bear spray, know how to use it. There are a lot of videos online that, you know, to educate yourself. And then yeah, so that's for bears.
Can I bring up something else too?
Uh-huh.
So not only with the bear
Uh-huh,
spray,
uh-huh.
not only with the bear spray, and I applaud the get a bear spray holder, because last thing you want to do is approach an animal and have to like set your bag down and figure out how to fish it out of your bag and give
Yo.
them like a little sob story for a
Yeah,
moment.
so
Please don't eat me.
they go right
while you
here.
pull the spray
Yeah,
out.
on your side, the belt goes right here. You want to be able to access it very easily. You know, you don't want to fish for it on your bag. No, no.
And that's a good point, though, that usually when we bought the holder, sometimes it came with like a shoulder strap. Other times it was just a carrier with a belt loop. That implies that you must have a belt on in order to be able to stick it on. So I think having a light belt when you're hiking there makes that work. Otherwise, you could probably fish it through one of the straps on your shoulder strap for your bag. Anyway, another thing for bears that's easy. Obviously, we talk and make some
Yes.
noise, because that's just good practice in general.
Yeah.
But they have bear bells and such too, which I think we got in like
Yeah, I
Glacier.
always would.
But it's just like a little bell you can put on your back, and usually the bell is magnetic, and you can flip your magnet down on it, and it'll grab a hold of the ball on the inside and prevent it from jingling around. Still a little muted, but it's there. Or you can undo that magnet, and it'll bounce around and jingle while you're walking around, making noise for you. And they
Yeah.
cost like what, like $2? So I
Yeah.
mean, if you're looking for a couple of other things like that too, some bear bells are a very easy thing
Sure.
to get.
Especially
So-
if you are hiking alone, which is not so recommended in bear country. You definitely want to be with people to make enough noise. But yeah, if you are hiking alone, make sure that you have a bear belt with you to make some noise on the trail. Let's see. So
And I will
Wow.
say, depending on the time of the year that you're there too, I don't know if I saw when you were going to Alaska, but if the days are really long or really short, or if it's the right season for them to be like, you know, nursing cubs or other things like that, would probably be just reasonable information to know before you go there, and that might allow you to research stuff differently if they suggest one season might be more prone to animal activity than other seasons.
yeah, our friend Matt says, I'ma go watch some of your videos on your channel. Ciao, thank you. Wow, your Santan video is awesome. Thanks so much. Could bear spray get in your own eyes and nose? Okay, so let's answer this question. So when you are carrying, I'm gonna tell you a funny story too. By the way, before we get to the next point, I have a full video, just to plug it here, about things that you should pack with you when you are going to Alaska, and I talk about the bear spray and everything right there, so you can check the
Hike with
video.
Mike.
So anyway, so we are saying, could bear spray get in your own eyes and nose? So if you have it in your side right here, it has a protective piece that kind of blocks it. So it's closed. There is a piece of
It's a plastic clip that
It's a
acts as a
plastic
safety.
clip.
It
Yeah,
prevents
it's-
you from engaging the trigger.
exactly. So it's
So.
a safety clip. You close it. So when you want to engage the bear spray, you have to remove the safety clip. So technically, nothing is gonna spray, nothing is gonna happen unless you remove that plastic clip, which happened to us. We were driving, and we talked about this last time, so we'll just do a recap. We were driving. The bear spray was in the back seat of the car. We made a hard turn in the car. The clip was not there, and it sprayed in the car. And all of a sudden, we are coughing our lungs out. And I was like, "Oh my God, were we just hit with COVID or what?" And it was so strong. So that was your proof that the bear spray really works. But just keep it closed all the time.
Yeah, and it's really easy to get the little trigger off with your thumb. Use it. It's not difficult. And then I will say, though, if your question was more like if you are using it on a bear, could it get on you? I would think if the wind is blowing in a certain direction, you certainly could have a little bit of residual, but I'm sure, A, you're going to have a lot of adrenaline going on, and B, it's better than the alternative. So
Exactly.
if it would be a deterrent that you might get some on you or something, not a problem.
Hey Mike, hike with Mike, good to see you. So let's see, let's go. We answered the question about nose and eyes. When on the trail, do you prefer to wake up early or sleep in late?
I will say when on the trail, there's no way I would ever really want to sleep in late. I mean, maybe if we're at like a glamorous, fantastic spot, but usually I'm out there and I usually get up early because I'm out there. And that's the point of being there. So I would say I like getting up a little bit early. I might get up and drag my feet through the campsite and such. We might not get on the trail, but I can't say that I'm just like in the tent until 10 a.m. That would be it'd be too much for me. What about you?
I like getting up early in the morning.
So-
Okay, so there's a good tip from our friend Hike with Mike. He is saying that bear spray has an expiration date, so make sure to check your expiration date on your can. That's a very good tip. Make sure to check that.
And it brings up two interesting points regarding bear spray then. And I wish we could have told it to our friend from earlier. I've seen the numbers go up and down. But whoever our friend was that was traveling to Alaska, whenever we're done with a trip, we'll usually take our bear canister stuff and we'll try to give it to the rental car area. Because we're not going to take it back on the plane either, because you can't take it
Yeah.
on the plane. So we usually try to figure out a spot to donate it. So I would say if you want to, and you get to the airport, if there's a lost and found or something else to the effect of that, maybe even at a car dealership lost and found, or maybe an airport lost and found, then you might be able to ask if they have any bear spray just sitting around. I can't say we've had any success with it yet, because we took some with us the one time. So I'm amazed that they accidentally let us get
But
stuff
we didn't know back then.
on the plane. Yeah, we didn't realize it at the time. But then, and then in Alaska, we just got our own. But I would say
Yeah.
ask them to see if they have bear spray too. That might help.
Like last time when we finished our hike on the Heart and Icefield Trail and we knew it's our last hike in Alaska, we made a friend on the trail and we just gave it to him.
Billy, rip.
Yeah. It's an amazing, we met an amazing guy on that hike and he was so inspiring and he was a glaciologist.
Yeah, it was such a silly thing because he walks up while we're at the bottom of Exit Glacier.
Yeah.
And he's just asking like a couple of light questions. I get the feeling he was like leading me on a bit because he was excited to drop the G-bomb.
Yeah.
And I'm like trying to explain to him what a horizontal or a lateral moraine is. And I
yeah.
mean, I'm just a yokel idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about. It was a horizontal. He's like, well, actually, I'm a glaciologist. I was like, well, why the heck have I been talking to
It's
him?
like, well then.
But then we're
that's
up
me.
on the trail eating like berries with this guy and
He
picking
was-
stuff off and chatting with him the whole way
It was
down, and we really
amazing.
liked him. And we tried reaching out to him after we got home. We sent him like many emails.
And so the way we kind of built our friendship with this guy, he was a bit older than us, and it was his long time dream to come to Alaska, and he came solo. This is like his life dream for a long time. And before we became friends with him, I took pictures of him in front of the waterfall in the glacier. And then when we started talking, I said, hey, I took these pictures, you were in the picture, I want you to see them. And he was so happy and excited, gave us the email. I sent him the photos by email, but he never answered. So I don't know if the email was wrong or he didn't see it, but I'm so...
Flagged as spam or something to him.
I don't know,
Ugh.
we went to spam, but I sent email after email. I just want him to see it because we loved our relationship with that person.
He was cool. He's a real cool guy.
What is the so okay, I have to catch up here. Bear spray has an expiration date. We talked about that. I don't like to get up early when it's cold out, then I hibernate in my sleeping bag. Mike, what is the most unexpected situation you have run into while hiking?
Wow.
Nothing crazy, really.
Yeah, I'd like to say that, I mean, to shrug off the question, which I'm not going to try to do, I would say like, oh, we usually look at our stuff, or we make
Yeah.
sure we have a map. I think when we did Flat Top Mountain in Alaska, which is like a trail that's really accessible right there in the Anchorage area, the top, I think we went like the wrong way around a little area, and we're doing some like real kind of rock climbing stuff, an area that was not the real trail with
Yeah.
legitimate penalty if you didn't hang on. That was probably like what comes to mind first. I'm sure there's something else, but
There's one when we hiked the Gila wilderness with a group of people.
right, we didn't have a map,
We
and
didn't
then they
have a
left
map.
us, even though we were hiking with a
Yeah,
group.
so that's like one lesson that we learned, not the hard way, but still. So one time there was this group on Meetup, which that just comes to prove you have to know the people that you are hiking with and set expectations. So they were going on this overnight backpacking trip, and we tagged along with them, and we didn't really know them. That was early on when we started backpacking. but they didn't really work as a group. And when we hiked the way in, it was good, but then on the way out, everyone went on their own way, and we didn't really have a map.
It was kind of like an organized thing where we thought it was like there was a leader and we were following,
Yeah.
and it looked like they were just kind of like a free for all on their own, and we didn't. That's the day that we realized, like, always have our own map, always have our
Always.
own stuff. Luckily, I got us back like 12 or 10 miles or
Yeah.
whatever, just kind of remembering where we came from.
Yeah.
But it was still just disconcerting to kind of feel like left out like that.
Yeah. And it was like in the middle of the Gila wilderness in New Mexico, and it's not. It was a lot of mileage that we covered, but Alex is really good with directions, so we didn't even have a map, and they took a loop to get out of where we camped, but then we just traced our way back the way we came in, and they were like, "Oh wow, you made it!" I was like, "Yeah, of
they're like
course
the
we
same
made it."
time.
Yeah.
Then we had to play nice and sit down and have food, and then we were like, all right.
So that since then I was like, well, have your map. Even when we are hiking together, I usually have mine on all trails downloaded, and I know that like you can't always rely on your phone, but I have a charger and I have a portable charger so that I can charge my phone if I need to.
Yeah, they're good manners, I think, to have,
Yeah.
especially in such a technical world. If you're going to take them, you should take a battery. We could
Laura-
talk about battery packs actually too. Which ones we like to take for little stuff and the big banks that we have too.
So Mike is saying a lot of parks rent out bear spray too. That's correct. I remember when we landed in Glacier National Park, they had an outfitter who rents bear spray. I'm opposite of Mike. If I get cold, have to get up and move around. Hike with Mike. I'm a tropical guy. If it's lower than think Mike is from Florida, right? From last time.
Oh yeah.
I'm a tropical guy. If it's lower than 60 degrees in the morning, I am cold, but I'm perfectly. See?
It's 6 and one, half a dozen the other for me sometimes too. If we're on like a moving camping sort of trail where every day is in a different destination, then I kind of want to get up and go. I like the act of kind of like beating myself up a little physically to get out. That's almost how I enjoy it. But if we were like camping at one spot for 4 or 5 days, I would totally just do whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like it really could go both ways.
Have you camped in the Midwest area, like the upper peninsula of Michigan or Wisconsin, Minnesota area? No, you have.
I have.
You have. He has biked the.
So
in
my
the
family loves bike rides.
Upper Peninsula.
And we started at Escanaba, way over on the side of the Upper Peninsula then. And we biked all the way across to St. Ignace, then up to Whitefish Point, the back over, and we went through, what is that park there? Dad, don't watch this. You're going to kill me because I can't remember. Tequemanon National Park right up there by Whitefish Point. See, I pulled that out. I got no fun. There's nothing up my sleeve, huh? Tequemanon
Superman.
National Park. And we biked the Upper Peninsula as a family, and it took us about 6 days.
Wow.
We went, like I said, all the way over. We did go to Mackinac Island, which is spelled Mackinac, but pronounced Mackinac.
Knock.
No, it was great. The Upper Peninsula was awesome. Great food, not a lot of cell service. The thing that bothered me the most, and not that anything really bothered me about the UP, was just that we got to bike alongside the waterfront the whole time, but there was always waterfront property between us and the water. So we might be biking right next to the lake all the time, but there was a big wall of trees and private property, and we didn't see it anywhere near as much. But lighthouses.
Yeah.
Lighthouses everywhere.
I'm saying, yeah, I've never been, but I want to.
But we camped, and we stayed in 1 or 2 motels to take a shower
he
along the way,
camped.
but we camped out there too. I did sleeping bag camping most of the time, and I did a hammock one day too.
Awesome.
And it was beautiful. What was the other one? Manistee, I think, was the other place that we really thought was very pretty up there.
Nice. We should go back there together at some point then. Let's see. Matt. Love your passion. Good luck with your adventure. See you around. Thank you, our friend. Okay, Divansh is our friend going to Alaska. Safety wise, if I see a wildlife unexpectedly, like few feet away, should I keep walking? Should I stop and wait for them? Okay, so.
Oh boy. Running out of power on this.
So we will try to answer this together, and then I know that some of our friends here, like Fomat and Hike with Mike, they're also pretty knowledgeable. So help us help our friend Divanish. Do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
Sure. So first things first, obviously try not to come in front of them. If you see animals, give them a wide berth. I realize they're not boats, but that's my turn of phrase, and I'm sticking to it. I think they said when we were in Glacier, give 100 yards to something that wants to kill you. 25 at least to something
that-
that's not going to kill you. But if you come across something in front of you, there's a lot of just primal animals, like things that you would want to take into consideration. Like, don't break eye contact. Like, you think about animals when they look, like if you have a dog, your dog pooped on the floor, and you didn't want your dog to poop on the floor. And you come home speaking loud, your dog puts its head down and kind of, you don't want to show those sort of submissive personality traits.
Yeah.
If you come across an animal, they want you to get big, take up space. If you have a jacket, kind of like you can think about like the little dinosaurs in Jurassic Park that like make themselves really big, make yourself appear to have a bigger
So-
footprint by like wings and such. Go
Let,
ahead.
let's step back.
Okay, I'm getting too far.
Yeah, you're getting too far. So Devansh is saying, I'm hiking on the trail and I see a bear or
Right.
a moose. What am I gonna do? Well, if it's further out, you're not gonna do anything. You don't want you just keep on hiking on the trail. If the bear is on the trail, that you want to avoid it, you want to stay away. So we're not talking the scenario where the bear is charging at you. You just wanna keep your safe distance. Now the rule in Alaska and anywhere, you never run from a bear, but you run from a moose. If a moose is charging you, you wanna run. You don't stand there because he's just gonna go like a crazy animal. But you don't wanna run from a bear, and you never wanna stand between a bear, a mama bear, and her cubs. So if you see your cubs, you have to stay away. You know what I mean? And then what Alex is talking about is scenarios where a bear or an animal is charging at you. So you never want to show yourself small in front of a bear. And then there are different types of bears come with different types of behaviors. There are things, black bear and the grizzly bear, not the same thing. So with black bear, if a black bear charges at you, you're gonna use your bear spray and then you're gonna fight. You want to fight back with the black bear. With the grizzly bear, they don't suggest that you fight back. They suggest that you pretend like you're dead, cover your head, stomach on the ground. This is like we're talking very, serious charging situations. On the ground, cover your head with your backpack, pretend that you are dead. If the animal tries to turn, you're gonna turn with it until they leave. That's the grizzly bear. Now, so you have to know how you can differentiate between the grizzly bear and the black bear so that you know what to do in every scenario. So these are things that you can search online and learn about, and we'll see what our friends here have to say too.
And touche, in our case with the bear, or even if you watch one of our Yellowstone videos, we walked right past a bison that was sitting right there on the trail. It was like 3 feet away. If they're not interested in you,
Yeah.
sometimes, like, these are very much rules of thumb, but the bear we walked past was eating berries, was behind a wall of brush.
Just make noise.
Yeah, just be obvious at that point too. But if you see an animal, they're like I said,
Just
there are
be
moments
aware.
where you're still allowed to evaluate the decision on your own a little bit.
Don't run. Just don't run from a bear for sure.
Mm.
Okay, so our friend Fomat. Oh wow, we've been running for 57 minutes. That's crazy.
Your phone's
Are you getting
running out of time too. Is your problem? You're gonna.
Yeah,
phone's
my
die
phone's
here.
gonna die. Okay, so let's see.
Yeah, Glacier did make us watch a video at the airport for what it's worth.
Yes,
To
yes.
answer that one pretty quickly.
I feel like I remember that in a video I watched of yours. Fomat, you're becoming our biggest fan.
Dude.
And thank you. So Fomat is the first person who joined our YouTube channel as a member today, which is pretty exciting. Our first loyal member, Fomat. Okay, hike with Mike. Pictured rocks looks amazing on the Upper Peninsula. It's on my bucket list. And Matt, I love the jet boat ride to Mackinac.
Yeah.
Hey there.
Oh yeah, the boat ride over there is pretty neat, and all those islands that sit between the lower peninsula and the upper peninsula is pretty picturesque.
Looking good.
Hey,
Thank you.
we know who that is.
Yes, we do. All right, Fomat, it can depend on the animal species itself. The big thing is not to startle them, which is why bear bells are a thing. Exactly.
I mean, we're even happy to use them out here for rattlesnakes and other stuff. Coyote we came across the other day, hiking at the end of the day, just picking at something on the trail. For anything, being obvious that you're there, not a bad thing.
Yeah.
If the animal is interested in you anyway, they were going to find you even if you were or were not making noise.
Exactly.
So it's only to your benefit to have a bit of noise being made.
Hike with Mike, show no fear, act like you are on top of the food chain, make yourself big, talk loudly, walk slowly, backwards, facing the animal, and move away, but always keeping in sight, but no direct eye contact. All great tips. Hike with Mike, great channel. Enjoy these live streams a lot. Got good times and great conversation.
Thanks.
Thanks so much, Mike. And we appreciate your feedback here and just helping, spread some knowledge. I know you have a great channel on YouTube yourself. So very cool.
Sadly, I think we're running out of time here.
We are.
And not only because we're running out of time, because we're running out of battery.
Yeah, my phone is probably gonna die in a little bit.
Do you have a charger?
I
think we have a cable.
But we've been running for like an hour. That's crazy. All right, one more. Let's see if we have a few questions. Let's get them done, and then we'll wrap up in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it sounds fine.
Yeah, let's do 5 minutes. Okay. Divansh, I searched safety tips, and first thing on Reddit is if it's brown, lay down. If it's black, fight back. If it's white, good night.
We're talking about animals, I'm guessing, and not bowel movements.
Polar bear.
Oh,
good night.
Like good night, sure. If it's brown, lay
that's
down.
funny.
But
It's pretty much. I wonder what you should do. Like, how is the polar bear behavior different than black bear and grizzly?
From everything I'd ever seen where people are like out on scientific expeditions and they come across an animal. By the way, I love those National Geographic things like David Attenborough. Yeah.
Oh my God, he's the
He's
man.
got, like, all that stuff was good out there. But whenever I see some of those scientific things, like, and they had like a polar bear outside of their like scientific camp at the night, the polar bear wasn't looking to eat them. It was like playing with their equipment.
Yeah.
Or other things like that. I know they like speculate like magnetic stuff for navigation or other things like that, but I think that I would be horrible at giving you recommendations on specifically what to do with a polar bear.
Yeah, I don't know either. Maybe I'm gonna go and research that tonight and see.
But I will say for us, like I said, out here we have a couple different things in the desert with rattlesnakes and such like that too. Where
Oh yeah.
so you just need to be aware for everything. Watch out for the young things, just because they usually are representing protective, dangerous, mothers or something that are probably somewhere near.
Have you guys seen the video last year of the guy in Provo, Utah,
Mountain
who was
lion?
attacked by a mountain lion?
That
If you
was-
guys have, leave a comment because it's crazy.
It's
When
like
I-
20 minutes of him like just pooping his pants there,
Man.
walking backwards the whole way, and the thing's like batting at like you see a cat, right? You drop something down in front of a cat and it'll bat at it. Right now you make that cat 5 times, 10 times bigger, and now it's doing that. Ooh.
Oh my God.
This guy eventually managed to throw a rock, I think, and scare it off, but that was.
And the big lion goes, and it's like, oh my God, I just came out for a run. I want to be fit and healthy, and now I'm in trouble. That's crazy. All right, let's see. It is all perspective. The most dangerous threat you face is mosquitoes, ticks, and other people. That's true.
Yeah, because we haven't talked about ticks much, but
When my dad was stationed in Juneau, Alaska, like 50 years ago, they had a bear that just hung out on their little base all the time, and they would play with it.
call him Cody. Kodiak.
They name it Cody.
That's great. No, I think, animals for us are something that we try to be aware of when we go on our further trips, but I think at home we're probably a bit more comfortable. But I think at that spot, just watch your YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Being confident in your ability to make a decision in that matter too is just as important. Because you have you and your hiking partner, and if you both have different ways of approaching that can cause a lot of stress too. That's just unnecessary.
The audio goes back when
Fair.
we're...
But either way, I would watch those videos on YouTube though, just to have, it gives you that reassurance. And there's plenty of content out there too that's valuable. So.
Well, awesome, guys. This was really nice. Do you have... So we'll do Thursdays. We started doing Thursdays for about a month now, or a little bit more.
Yeah.
6 p.m. We moved from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. If you guys have... I really am enjoying these spontaneous conversations, but if you have anything in particular that you want us to talk about next time, we will be happy to do so. If you want to chat, send us an email. We always answer all emails.
For what's worth, Fomat,
Instagram.
I write software for a living.
Oh yeah,
That's
you,
what I do.
you
I know you
asked
said
me
in
the
cyber,
question. Yeah,
But I write software, so.
yeah.
But anyway, yeah, and beyond that, we'll probably come up with some light rubrics for things we'll talk about. We will probably end up chatting a lot about like stuff we're planning for our trip to Kilimanjaro, because boy, oh boy, are we excited about that. But we're willing to talk about anything. And some other stuff that we probably have content for that's not even out yet, like Idaho
So much.
and the hot springs sitting on the side of the highway, and a snowmobile ride that we had going out there, and
I need
hike up
to-
to Sunset, or was that Moonlight Point? Sunlight?
Whatever that point was. But so much content and I just can't get to it. I have so much going on. I need to do this full time. Leave a comment if you guys want me to do this full time.
Awesome. And FOMAT, recommendations on how to better handle our extra subscriber content and such too.
Yeah.
Questions welcome.
Please.
You man. I'm sitting back again, sorry.
No, it's just the audio and we're back. But anyway, so we're gonna go and we're gonna do treadmill incline for 1 hour so that we can prepare. We don't have much time. We canceled our flight to Tanzania just this morning because Turkish Airlines just canceled their whole flight.
Yeah, schedule again.
So we have to find another one, which is a bummer because the other flight was so cheap. I only paid 800 per person from San Francisco to Tanzania
that's
and back.
gotta be why they canceled it, because it was just
I know,
so
because
cheap.
it was so cheap with the pandemic. So I was so proud that the whole flight cost me $800, but then now I have to go pay double the price probably. I was so very bummed. But anyway, so
And watch out for power.
everyone should like the stream now so YouTube algorithm can pick it up. Thank you, Divansh. Yeah, that's true. If you guys can leave some likes and comments, it really helps the algorithm and it helps our channel grow so that I can do this full time. Anyway, so I have a lot of ideas about Alaska. I think Alaska is a very I think people are interacting very nicely with content about Alaska. Thank you. I see 5 likes.
Oh,
Thanks
wonderful.
so much.
Thanks, Devansh.
Yeah,
You are
so
still here. Good.
Alaska, I will try to put more content, just like film some videos and put them out there. I feel like there isn't enough information out there about Alaska, especially exploring Alaska by land. There's a lot of information about cruises, but exploring Alaska by land, not a lot. So we will talk about, I have a video that I'm working on, best things to do in Seward. I have to just like do some voice over recording, should be probably out in 2 weeks. And then I will make one about best places or best adventures in Alaska. And then we'll probably do one together, just tips about Alaska in general. And maybe we'll go to Alaska again.
Probably. We'd like to see the Northern Lights. but
Yeah.
I can hear you talking fast because we don't know
Am I?
how much battery
Yeah.
is left.
Okay. Well, anyway, so FOMAT, Mike, Leslie, Divansh, The Word, who else? Matt. Who else did I miss?
Got it, I think.
That's probably everyone who joined us today. You
I will
guys
say-
are so awesome.
I did my first review the other day of a little bag that we use on
yeah,
our stuff.
true.
So go look at this. The first time I think I
Yes.
did like a full-on video for the channel. So
He did
there's
a
a little
whole
review
video.
thing. It's not anything impressive, but
So he sat down, filmed the video, gave the review. I did the editing.
oh, I got some positives.
I did the editing. I said the FOMAT said it was awesome. He loved the review. Thank you. I saw actually. You know what? Last thing. So FOMAT was FOMAT left a comment on Alex's review about the movie Inception.
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
that's right.
and I went straight to Alex and I was like,
Bagception.
you know what? I didn't even understand what you meant in that video. I told you a lot of things get lost in translation. So,
Bag in a bag.
bag in a bag.
Alrighty.
All right, awesome. All right, enjoy the gym. Thank you. So happy to chat with all of you guys, and we will see you next
Bagception.
Thursday, 6 p.m.
All right.
I'm Habiba,
I'm Alex.
and we are
Trekking
Trekking
Pals.
Pals.
Bye,
Take
guys.
care, everyone.